hydrated. Yeah, oops, someone forgot his script.
We can share, Sean.
Oh, thank you.
Hello and welcome, Grand Rapids. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm your anchor, Josie Sabo.
And I'm your other anchor, Sean Francis. And because we've all just got whiplash from having to put away our snow pants to have to bringing out our snow pants again, who knows what kind of pants brings tomorrow. Sounded better in my head.
Ain't that the truth?
We have the world, national, and local stories that you may have missed.
You're welcome, Grand Rapids. This is
NewsFlash. Ding dong! Our top story tonight, the big five tech companies, aka FANG, not formerly known as FANG, now known as MANG, which is Meta, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, are struggling with some labor issues. Specifically, they're spending a lot of labor figuring out how to get rid of some of their labor. Last week, we mentioned Zuck's pivot away from the metaverse to AI, and now Amazon and Google are running into some legal restrictions when it comes to trying to lay off any employees from Europe, thanks to some EU protections. So every time apparently Google tries to submit a pink slip, they keep getting the response, "Did you need promotion?" And Amazon employee, they just keep getting suggestions for other employees they want to add to their team. Meanwhile, Apple is trying to avoid laying off any employees, technically, by finding a workaround, making their workers reapply for their jobs. So it has to be an awkward job interview, right? Well, what made you leave your last position? You? So finally, somebody probably got fired when Netflix had to delay the live streaming finale of Love is Blind by over an hour due to technical issues. The issue being that technically the show sucks. In closing, it seems that when it comes to eliminating employees, these companies truly are America first.
Senate Republican leader and presumably part jellyfish, part vampire for how indestructible he is, Mitch McConnell returned to work today after a 6-week break after a fall left him receiving concussion treatment, presumably because he didn't retract his head into his shell in time. If Democratic senators are smart, they'll try to use this to their advantage by gaslighting him. Oh yeah, Mitch, the last thing you said before you left was you wanted to pass an assault weapons ban and legally declare Trump ineligible forever for office. Here, let me fix that neck pillow for you. I mean, we can only hope at least.
Right. A recent study published by a U of M student has outlined the benefits of improv to treat anxiety and depression. Now, we have no affiliation with this research whatsoever, but isn't it convenient that the Comedy Project just recently opened its registration for the next semester of classes starting April 30th? Oh, and you can still get the early bird pricing if you sign up before midnight this Wednesday. Whoa! Oh yeah. Or maybe they just announced the dates for summer workshops for kids 8 to 12 or teens 13 to 17 in late June. Huh, weird. Get a head start on your kids' depression right now. More details at the Comedy Project's website at thecomedyproject.com/TCP. Of course, we all know that nothing is a true replacement for actual therapy, but still, por lo que es no dos, right? You know, why not both? Just saying, correlation doesn't always equal causation, but this is your brain at stake, and do you really want to take that risk? Improv.
The Michigan Clean Slate Bill became law 2 years ago, but because of the implementation period, it actually went into effect last week, which means that if you did some time for some crime 7 to 10 years ago, you could get it cleared from public record automatically for anything less than 93 days, and some restrictions for longer sentences and felonies. Unfortunately, any embarrassing nicknames your loved ones may have given you relating to your misdemeanors may not be expunged. Tough break, sticky fingers, McGee.
Researchers have discovered plastic rocks on Trinidad Island in Brazil, which is a turtle refuge. Melted plastic apparently became intertwined with the rocks, creating new plastic rocks. And that's not all the plastic became entwined with. Researchers also found 4 plastic turtles, a plastic rat, and some plastic pizza.
A 9,000-year-old Stonehenge-like structure was found in Lake Michigan. Historians believe, like its British counterpart, it might actually be remnants of a game played by ancient inhabitants, which is probably still less confusing than trying to explain euchre to anybody.
The next story is for all you true crime junkies out there. I know you're out there, you sick freaks. So, the murder of a Vermont teacher back in 1971 was finally solved last month after authorities used DNA testing linking a discarded cigarette butt to a suspect, who became a Buddhist monk years after the killing. So the moral of the story here, it can go 2 ways, right? Smoking kills, but it can also help solve a crime. So yeah, it's like mixed messaging, right? And if you want to get away with murder, maybe switch from tobacco to Buddha blunts. Or maybe just don't murder people at all and get some therapy. And then sign up for an improv class at the Comedy Project. Improv.
New Orleans teens made an impossible mathematical discovery by proving Pythagorean's theorem without using trigonometry, because trigonometry is based on Pythagorean's theorem, so using one to prove the other is circular logic, like statement A is true because of statement B is true because of statement C is true because of A, almost like all math is fake and made up and we're all just crossing our fingers that the planes don't just fall out of the sky one day.
An 88-year-old woman received a letter and card from her now deceased parents that they sent her back in 1975. It was a pretty boring letter, though. Improv.
Multiple articles are reporting that waitresses make more in tips, specifically from men, when they wear pigtails. One woman was even offered a cruise as a tip. You might be thinking right now, that's pretty creepy, but the reasoning is totally innocent. The men see the pigtails, and it reminds them of their kind.
We're pigs. I get it. Improv. Ghosting is out, and a new, awful way of breaking up with people called fizzling is in. You see, this new breakup trend has started where you just incrementally put in less effort until you stop communicating altogether. Man, just seems like dating is getting worse and worse, right? We here at NewsFlash have polled the single and mingle crowd of youths to see what is next for dating, specifically breakup trends. So first up, we've got off-roading, and this is where you take your partner for a drive somewhere, and then you just kick them out and just keep driving.
We've also got American Idoling, breaking up by sending them a singing telegram.
Interesting. Gong showing. You just hit a giant gong and tell them it's over.
Parent trapping, reconnecting them up with their ex so they break up with you.
Ooh, interesting. Scantroning, and you just respond to all of their text messages with A, B, C, or D, and eventually they give up.
Troping, taking all the things you know that they hate and living them to an extreme degree, like they do in that one episode of every show ever.
Yeah. And reverse Uno, you just send them back their loots.
Harry and the Hendersoning is his.
Yeah, that's a verb.
Screaming in John Lithgow dad voice until you run into the woods, only because they love you, but you don't belong together.
Harry, no! That's my John Lithgow, everybody. Thank you. And finally, yes-anding. You sign up for an improv class, a sketch writing class, or stand-up class at the Comedy Project, and they'll naturally lose interest. I'm just kidding. Of course, everyone knows people who do improv are the most generous and sought-after lovers, as they always yes-and. Improv.
Philadelphia police are investigating a robbery of a truck carrying over $7,500,000 in dimes. When it comes to motive, the number of suspects involved, or if they even knew the contents of the truck, the police can't make heads or tails of it.
Nope.
We'd also like to thank our writers for NewsFlash this week, and if you'd like to see your name up here, you can submit your jokes to comedyoutletmondays@gmail.com with the subject NewsFlash Tips.
Yep. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Watch videos of old shows, lineups for new shows, find our submission form to put your act on stage, and learn about other ways to get involved. And if you can't wait around for that, you can hop up during the improv jam like I just said. But now, Grand Rapids, you're welcome. NewsFlash, this is Comedy Outlet Monday!